Welcome to week 3 of Web Development for Beginners. So if you were with us last week, the week before that, yay. But if you've not watched week 1 or week 2, please go back and watch week 1 or week 2 before watching this video, because you need a lot of information and you also need your website to be up and done before we do any of these things, we start any of this stuff. Today, we're going to be learning about plugins. We're going to be learning how to use plugins on the back of your website to make it more functional, bring in functionalities that you want to be able to use for your clients. So last week we went over the first page, that home page, and all information that needs to go on that home page. You can build out more pages afterwards, and we'll go over that next week. But today we're going to go over what plugins to add after you made that first home page. And mind you, do you need to add plugins immediately after you make the home page? Absolutely not. But for the sake of this class, we're teaching a one-page website. So next week's class will be like additional things, add-ons, more pages that you can add, information, do's and don'ts. But today, we're assuming that you're making a one-page website, so that whole page is already done, and we're going to be adding in plugins to the back end of the website so that before we pass it off to our clients. So, and again, reminding you, this is an introductory class. These are not all the plugins you need to use. This is not all the functionality that's possible. This isn't even everything that I would use for a 5-page website of a very heavy-hitting client. This is something for a very, very basic beginner level, very simple, very affordable website to make sure that it works and it goes well. And you'll be able to grow in that and develop further as you go. So it's not going to be a lot or all of it, just enough so you can start. So let me share my screen. And here we are. We have the screen. We're going to go ahead and go into our plugins. Actually, we're going to go back and look at our home page really quickly. So you can see, we're going to go to recap on the page to start. And then we're going to go to plugins. So we have our banner. We fixed our banner up here. And we actually created a new banner instead of the one we already had, because previously, as you saw, if you don't pay for it, you need to create something else. So we made a little banner up here on our own. Then we added in our hero image, which is her on this horse, the information about Ostopalis, what it is, a descriptive thing about it, and then a button to book. Wonderful. We also went to the second part and had information, call to action. It's called an action section on what to do. Book your getaway. Let us create a customer treat experience for royalty, and then gave some examples. And then we moved down, and also we're going to use these contrasting colors and a contrasting experience from this part as well. We'll move into another one, reminding you that each block should have a different color, a different theme, a different feel to help people be transported through the page and keeps their attention, versus being one very long page that's completely white or all one color. It seems like a never-ending page. Here, it seems like multiple bits of information, and then you're helping the client, the person reading it, to follow along and make decisions and understand we're transitioning to new information. So the third one, we went to our About Us. So we have a little About Us blurb. We have our little button to learn more. We have a picture of the facility. We have details about the About Us. So tea parties and luncheons, one-on-one horses, micro weddings, more button to click to book the facility. Then move down to virtual tour experience. Here's a public video for them, information, and then stay connected. Again, there's a call to action here. Sign up for our email list. Every block, for the most part, has a call to action. Then there are pictures from the last, some other things they already had to give an example so people understand that, they can see themselves in it and see what kind of things are available for them. Here is their nonprofit information. Now, mind you, last time we ended this portfolio, we went to contact information, but you can also have, if you have additional information for your business. So for instance, they do nonprofit. We put the nonprofit information here as well. And then we also added the staff. You might not want your staff on your homepage. They added their staff. We put it there. And then we have just a little bit of information more. It's a little cute little section that has a quote on there, and another button, call to action, book. Then we have our contact form, which is what we end with, and we have our footer. Wonderful. So that's just a recap of what we have for the page. And now we're going to go to plugins, because all these things need to be able to work. So for instance, this contact form needs to be able to work, and it can work really well through MailChimp. So that's something we can add in here. Another additional thing is SEO. We might want SEO. We might want an ability to track the people that are coming to this website for purposes of the cookies, to be able to market to them in the future. So we're going to go over to plugins and go ahead and see some things we want to add. One of the first things we're going to do, this is the plugin. This is our dashboard right here. This black side right here is the whole thing is your dashboard. This is your dashboard panel here. I'm going to go over it really quickly. Now for posts, these are posted for your blog or your magazine, whatever you put out to put out articles, information would go here. And this is going to post to your post page. The homepage is not the post page on this website, but if you want it to be, you can make it that. This is media. This is your library. This is where all your stuff is. I'm going to click on it so you can see. These are all her pictures. And there's also pictures from things we've already loaded because we were using template in demo content. So all of them are here. I can edit, change names, add information. Now here, these are things you want to make sure you're looking at. We don't want to name anything IMG7 because things on the internet can read and scroll this information. So I'm gonna go back and see what it was I clicked on. We're gonna say Austin Place brunch setup. I'm gonna put Palace brunch setup. And I can also put in the caption, I can add a description, and I can add alternate text. All these things are going to help with your SEO. You want to make sure that as you're doing it, you're not leaving these titles just whatever. An easy way for that to work is if the person sends it to you named well, but they probably won't. So just go in and try to name things, add descriptions, things like that. Another thing that you want to go through is pages. Now the pages where all our pages are. This one is a one pager so far, and although it has other pages, so this is our home page. I also have a page for about, book, contact, portfolio details, privacy policy, service details, and services. All those are empty right now, and they're not available on the website, but I have them available that I downloaded when I did my demo content that I can add on over time with. Right now, it's just front page, and it's being used by Breezy. Anything that has Breezy is being edited in Breezy. But for instance, this does not say that. This is just a regular WordPress page. So the same as this, because it doesn't say Breezy. We're going to go now to comments. We don't need this, but when people leave comments on your page, if you allow that in your articles or different parts of your page, it would end up there. Breezy is the software that we're using to do our no code editing. And you can go here to get the information for it, templates, leads, all that. We're not really using any of that in this class right now. But what you can get is to go pro, and you can get it shows you another page, but you can click on that to add in your license to be able to have more functionality, which I do recommend. I do like going pro, but for the sake of this class, because it's a free class, we're not talking about that. Appearance and themes. This area is, I'm not using none of these plugins walking through your back. This is where you can go to change your theme. Now, remember the theme is the overall governing body of your website. So the page that we're working on is only governed by on that page. The fonts, the colors and things they only refer to Breezy content. So if I'm not using Breezy, it's not going to do those things. Our theme is going to make those changes. And so this is the thing we're using. It comes with WordPress right out of the box. It's Go. I really like it a lot. And you can customize those things like the menu and the colors and like that by going to customize. There we go. Now, mind you, this is not going to change, right? This is just showing you what it looks like. But here you can change your site identity, the design. You can put header information, change what the header looks like on other content pages, not your home page, because this is ruled by Breezy. But the other ones will be ruled by this information. So we would open up one of those pages. Your footer information, choose that. You can even choose what's on your menus. Right now it's using a demo menu, but you can add in different things. There's nothing on this menu item, but you can add in items by clicking this, and then all the pages you have, you can click to add there. All this customization can be done in the customizer here. All homepage settings, CSS. We don't need majority of this, and a lot of this is self-explanatory, I feel. But if you need more help with it, let me know in a comment section. I will make a little video on how to use the customizer. You can also change the background in here, install plugins, and then that's the theme file editor. Install plugins is going to tell you what plugins you need for the theme that you're currently using. So for instance, the theme I'm using recommends CodeBlocks. I do not have CodeBlocks on here. So I can click begin installing plugin. And I'm gonna click install. And this is telling me what to install. Okay, and I'm going to go to return to that because I'm now need to activate it. After you install a plugin, you have to activate it. And let's go over what plugins are, because that's where we're going in next. Plugins. And I'm going to update my Breezy first of all and come back to you all. So a plugin is a piece of snippet or code or information that has a functionality or something that adds onto your website, something that's not already there that you don't want to write yourself. Technically in WordPress, For the most part, anything that you can imagine in your head, if you know how to code, you can create it. You can make it do that. That's something that's different for if you're going to be using, let's say, Wix or Squarespace, something like that. Those things aren't really possible. They have their own plugins that you purchase from them that they've bought. Now, there are plugins that are purchased in WordPress. They're not necessarily in the WordPress repository, but they're all online. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of plugins that are available for you for use. And a lot of them are very, very valuable and worth the cost. But today we're going to go work on free ones because it's a free class. So we're going to go over some main ones that you need to add functionality to your website. So far, I've already added Yoast SEO. And the reason why I added Yoast SEO is because it allows a lot of things off bat to make my SEO content just much easier. So we're going to go ahead and go to that program so you can take a look at it. Again, we're not using any premium right now. Everything is free because it's a free class. I want you to be able to do it with no money and be able to make this money without having to spend money for the most part. So we already did our configuration, but we'll walk you through a first-time configuration. In that, it will go through your SEO data optimization. It changes things in your backend of your website for you. It walks you through putting information for your site representation so that it's set up properly. Even lets you put your social profiles in there. You make personal preferences, and it configures the backend of your website to increase your SEO rankings and to make sure that it shows up properly. So, for instance, one of the things that Yoast SEO does is when you send that link to somebody, whether it be online or social media or in a text message, it will pop up with an image as well as the information about your page instead of just that link popping up as a text link. There's a lot of things that you can use in it. It also has Academy for you to learn how to use it properly, but I definitely recommend Yoast SEO being the first thing that you add into your website. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Okay, the next one I'm going to go into is a duplicator. Now, sometimes you don't want to have to duplicate an entire page because who wants to do that? So I'm going to type in duplicate or clone. Now there is one, we have to click on add new plugin. My apologies. There is one called duplicate post. I'm not going to use that one because that one does not actually clone the page for Brizy. So I'm typing in duplicate post because by typing it in, I will get the other ones I'm looking for. Here we go. Yoast duplicate post. It will clone pages for all you have to activate. Now this will make it very easy for me to entirely just clone a page. How would I do that? I go to pages. I go to clone. Bam, there's a new page. So now I don't have to do it again. And mind you, it doesn't exist. It's going to be a draft. When it closes, it will clone as a draft. So here we go. See how it's cloned? It says draft. There you go. We're going to go ahead and go to plugins again. We're going to also add, after we added Yoast SEO and Yoast duplicate post, we're going to go and add in MailChimp. You want to be able to get your emails. You got to click on add new plugin. So you got two options. You got MailChimp for WordPress and you have MailChimp for WooCommerce. WooCommerce is for e-commerce. We're going to be choosing MailChimp for WordPress for this one because we're not working on e-commerce at the moment. Although MailChimp for WooCommerce is excellent product. We're going to click activate. We're going to be able to set that up. Right now, we're just activating things, putting them in activate. We're going to click add new plugin. Now, what MailChimp does, MailChimp goes with MailChimp, the website. You need to have a MailChimp account to use that. Please go to MailChimp.com to create a MailChimp account. But what it does is a CMS system, a client management software that allows you to track who's following you, who needs emails, but also track their spending if you have WooCommerce, or track other things and be able to manage all the content, emails basically you need to send out to them through MailChimp. So it would also collect those emails and put them in the email list for you. Also make sure that you're not spamming people and, keep up with those things, see how many people opened it, all of that. So that's why we have MailChimp. Your clients definitely will want that. And you should suggest that they use MailChimp. And it doesn't have to be MailChimp. There are plenty of other ones, but MailChimp is a very generic one that most people know about. So that's why we use MailChimp. We suggest MailChimp. If they have another email carrier, another email marketing provider, you can also likely find a plugin for them as well. And you would go by upload plugin, add new plugin, type in the name of what you want to use, look for it and download it. Majority of them will have it in the WordPress repository. Now, what is a repository? A repository, because I keep using this word, is actually the term for, think of like an area where they're holding all these things that you can pull from. So there's a server with a bunch of different files and things in there, and you can say, do you have this file? And it would host it, that's hosted there, and it will pull it for you and pull it into your website and you can use it on your website without them going to that person's website, downloading it and then uploading it to your website and all of that. You can just go to the repository, click it, and it will pull it up for you. So those Yoast and things can be downloaded from the Yoast website, but also can be pulled in from that website from the WordPress repository. So let's add another plugin. Another plugin we want to go into is Duplicator. Now this is a migration and backup plugin. The reason why I want to add this is because, one, it will allow you to make free backups, and sometimes people lose things, break things, all that. It will also, when it press activate, also allow you to ensure that you get a backup. You can get a backup emailed to yourself. I'm not creating any packages right now, but it walks you through all these things you can do, see all the features and all of that. You can also upgrade. I'm not going to walk you through it at the moment. You can definitely please read the full guide. And the reason I'm walking you through it is because all these things they take a lot longer than an hour to fully be able to understand how to use the software. I'm just going through some things you want to add. The reason why you want to add backups is because something might happen to the server. Maybe the client doesn't pay for it. Maybe it just crashes. Maybe they're hosting it somewhere wrong. Maybe they actually crash their own website. You can put this website back up on any server at any time if you have it in a separate location. So that's why we're adding in Duplicator. And then the last one I want to go into for plugins today is going to be Google Sitekit. I keep forgetting to click add new plugin. Now Google Sitekit is going to do a lot of things for you. And it does it automatically. Previous to Google Sitekit, you had to do all this on your own, and it was not very fun. And you probably have to pay somebody a lot to do it. But it's going to also automatically put in Google Analytics, Google Search Console, AdSense, and increase the speed. Now, what are those things? Google Analytics is the information. It's a program that takes in the information and the cookies of everybody that goes to your website, where they came from, how long they were there, where they left when they left you, what country they're from, what if possible, if they have a Gmail account and they're logged in, what age they are, what they eat, what kind of things they like to do. You'll be surprised by the amount of information that you can find about people from the information that Google gives you, and the stuff that you give up by just going back and forth in your day-to-day on Google, or using Safari or using Chrome with Google logged in. It knows all these things about you. Now, why would you need this information? Well, if I have a website and I want to know, one, why people aren't buying anything. Well, I can go to my Google Analytics and see people are on my page. You're going to the homepage. Then from homepage, they're clicking on services. And then they're immediately leaving before even getting halfway down the page. Okay, let's go look at the first half of the page and find out what's wrong and why they're leaving without buying anything. Or let's say after they leave, they go to my competitor. Well, who's the competitor? And what are they doing there? And let me look at their page. What are the differences? Things like that. So it really helps for competitive analysis, comparative analysis. And so we want to make sure that we have that. Now, additionally, with Google, let me go back to that. Let me go to my plugins. I'm going to open up Sitekit for you. With Google Sitekit, it also goes on to add in for you. There you go. I don't want to do this right now, everyone. It's okay. Google Ads. So if you need to add in Google Ads, or the Google SEO optimization, Google AdSense, all these things are Google products that allow you to be able to make ads for Google to know what you have going on, to share things, also to map out your actual site. So basically, it helps with your optimization for Google's SEO, and creates pathways in the back end of your website for Google to pull information in, to give you information and help you out with a lot of stuff. So we would definitely want to use that. And it walks you straight through doing the whole thing. Just so it says sign in through Google, you just sign in through Google, the Google of your business, not your personal one. And you just click the buttons, and it will walk you through the whole process. Again, this is something that I cannot teach in an hour. So we're going to need you to go and learn that from Google. But this is another plugin that works really, really well, that you're going to need to add into the back of the website. Okay. Outside of these things, see if there's anything else I want to cover that we've added. Oh, limit login attempts reloaded. If that's not already in your website, you definitely need to add in your website. Normally, it will load it for the ones that I do, but if it doesn't, please do. The reason why you want to add this in is because it prevents people from trying to put in a password 1,000,000 times and trying to finally get it, and then not going in. So once somebody it blocks them after a certain amount of tries, and then it actually puts a hole in their account so they can't get back in for a certain amount of time. So it kind of makes them move on, and it protects your account from blunt force attacks, which is when people basically send a robot to do thousands of attempts at one time, and hopefully at one point it will figure out what your password is and hack you. So definitely, please add that if it's not already on there onto the website. Now, those are just the plugins we want to go over today. I want to see if there's any questions. Anybody have any questions or answers they want to know about, anything like that? And if not, I'll give you some time for that as I go back through the homepage and the back of this website. But if not, we're going to go ahead and end the class for today because we're just going to go ahead and add all those plugins. And that's all we're doing this week because we've done our one-page website. We've added in the back end, we've added these plugins in the back end. I'm going to go back and go ahead and go make sure we now go move on to learning about how to add users. So let's say you say, hey, I want to allow my person to use, but I don't want to give them all the information that they need or ability to break things. I'm going to add a new user. So I'm going to go ahead and add the, let's say I'm going to add the owner. So we're going to say Princess Ashley. We're going to add her email. I'm not going to add her email in here for safety reasons right now. We're going to add a name, Ashley. And we're going to name, we're going to leave that space for right now for safety reasons. And then it's going to come up with a password. You can generate another password, as many passwords as you want. Or you can write in a password. And then you're going to send the new user an email about their account and send it to them as a contributor or an editor. I would not give them an administrator option unless, and you can also give them an SEO manager as well. Unless you're passing off them completely. If they're having you manage to make sure they don't break it or anything, do not give them administrative access. They can really do a lot of damage. I usually let them do contributor or maybe editor, so they can do edits on the page, but they don't have access to all the full ability to change all the things on the page, just for safety purposes. And then we can go into settings. I'm gonna have to leave. Definitely, last but not least, go into settings. We're gonna make sure that we change this because all this stuff. And mind you, I didn't do it originally because sometimes you change as you go, or you come up with different things, or you might flush the whole website. So I just kind of like to wait until the end to get this stuff done. So let's say go to the blog. Name is going to be Austell Palace. Premier Air B&B. I'm going to say luxury. There we go. Luxury. In Pensacola, Florida. There we go. Now, why did I add that in there? Because that tagline is going to be read by Google. And Google's going to know that it's an Airbnb in Pensacola. So when people type in Airbnb in Pensacola, guess what's going to pop up? So I'm putting that in the tagline. You want to make your tagline something that the internet can know what it is very easily because Austell Palace doesn't give them that much. But Airbnb in Pensacola gives them a lot of information. You want this admin address to be something you're actually going to use. So I'm going to change that to theirs eventually. And then new default role, and leave it to subscriber. We're also going to keep that English language as our main language, unless you are not English, and go ahead and change it. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this because right now I believe we are +6 or maybe +6. Let's see. We're going to do -6 and see what that puts us at. 548. That's not it. Let's see if I did +6, if that would go well. I might have to press save first. And then it's March 20th. And the week starts on Monday. You can make it start on Sunday if you want. And press save changes, and we're going to see if that was +6 or -6. One of those for sure. It thinks it's 11, so actually it might be +7. Oh, it's PM, so maybe -5. Let's see. -5. We are in Central Time, so if you don't know your UTC time, then go ahead and go to Google and it will help you out with that. All right, now we're right. So we're UTC -5, and we're all good. I saved it, and we have all those settings done. I did all these things after I did my website, just in case I flushed it, so I don't do more than one bit of work. But that is all I have for you today. If there are no questions, no comments, then I'm so glad that we got through our plugins, and you have your one-page website done. You got your plugins. Next week, we're going to go over each other additional page, and we're going to wrap up this website and talk about how to hand it off to our clients. So I hope this helped you, and we will see you next week. Have the best day.